In the name of God, hello and welcome. I'm Ali Zamaradi and you're watching IRA in English News, coming to you live from the Iranian capital, Tehran. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says a recent decision by the administration of US President Donald Trump to stop funding the World Health Organization, or the WHO, at a time that the world body is fighting a pandemic of new coronavirus hampers global efforts to eradicate the deadly virus. My colleague Omid Haydari has the story.
Addressing a virtual meeting of the leaders of the non-aligned movement contact group on Monday, Iran's president said, at a time that the coronavirus has turned into a common threat to international security and public health, and the WHO is one of the forefront of the global fight against the coronavirus threat, undermining the WHO amounts to weakening the joint global fight against the coronavirus, which is an ill-timed and unjustifiable measure. Rouhani added, the hasty and irresponsible measure taken by the U.S. administration to deprive the WHO of necessary funds must be considered another strategic mistake by this administration that challenges the collective global fight against coronavirus. In another part of his speech, Iran's president touched on the unjust sanctions imposed on the Iranian nation by the U.S. and their impacts on the nation's fight against coronavirus, saying, for many years and through unilateral and illegal sanctions, the United States has not only deprived the Iranian nation of its rights, but its measure have also posed a major threat to multilateralism and international cooperation. Rouhani noted that Iran, like all other countries, have been trying in the past few months to meet its medical needs, including medicine equipment, amid the deadly virus pandemic, but due to the illegal and unilateral sanctions imposed by the United States, companies producing such items cannot provide Iran with such products in due time. He said it takes additional time and sometimes it is even impossible for Iran to meet its medical needs due to the U.S. imposition of sanctions in violation of human rights principles, adding that the move has also hampered the country's plans to contain the COVID-19 outbreak. Rouhani said the global experience of the fight against COVID-19 showed it is time that exerting pressure and posing threats, fostering terrorism and mounting pressure on nations through economic and terrorism military threat be replaced with bilateral, multilateral and international cooperation to battle real and common threats. The president said since the outbreak of the novel coronavirus in the world, the Islamic Republic has been in cooperation with the WHO and devised a strategic national plan based on the international health regulations. Iran has also been cooperating with other countries to battle the virus. Rouhani said, as a result of such measures, the Islamic Republic of Iran has so far succeeded in effectively preventing the virus outbreak in many cities and regions in the country. Iran's president noted that the country's efforts to fight and control coronavirus have been evaluated in certain cases as even beyond and above international standards, saying the Islamic Republic of Iran's purposeful strategies in battle the virus outbreak are still continuing in the country and the region.
Now, the coincidence of the fasting month of Ramadan with the coronavirus pandemic has supercharged charities in Muslim communities, which have been scrambling to provide relief for families who have lost their income in the wake of the pandemic.
The coincidence of the fasting month of Ramadan with the coronavirus pandemic has supercharged charities in Muslim communities, which have been scrambling to provide relief for families who have lost their income in the wake of the coronavirus. Well known for its scientific excellence, Sharif University now steps in to play a part in food donations during the fasting month.
Every year during Ramadan, we take part in charity works. This year, we have expanded our humanitarian efforts. Every day, we send some 1,500 relief packages consisting of staple food enough for the entire month of Ramadan. I hope we can relieve some of the pain that poor families are suffering.
The coronavirus has turned the global economy upside down. As in other countries, many businesses in Iran have laid off part of their workforce, and many high-risk stores are still closed. This has placed unprecedented economic pressure on the affected families.
Many businesses are interrupted by the coronavirus. This is why many families are having tough times, and now that we are observing Ramadan, we should care more about each other. What we do here serves the needs of just a small number of people. I wish we could reach more families.
Sharif University has also been engaged in providing scientific assistance in the fight against COVID-19. An example is the production of diagnostic kits, as well as an AI-assisted software for high-precision detection of the coronavirus. Besides scientific contributions to the fight against the pandemic, Sharif University says humanitarian aid is as much important, especially now that Muslims are marking Ramadan. It says this year, as a result of the economic impacts of the virus, more people rely on donations to break their fast. Yusuf Jalali, Press TV, Tehran.
Now, head of Iran's Health Ministry's Public Relations Office, Kianush Jahanpur, said on Monday that 79,397 people out of a total of 98,647 infected with the coronavirus have recovered, whereas 6,277 have lost their lives. Jahanpur went on to say that 1,223 new infected cases have also been detected and 74 others have lost their lives since Sunday. Meantime, the number of people around the world infected with coronavirus has surpassed 3.6 million, with global death fast approaching 250,000. In just a matter of months, the pandemic has spread throughout the world, with families left heartbroken as loved ones die alone in ICUs and makeshift wards. Economies are being brought to their knees, with businesses shut and unemployment soaring, and while all workers continue to lose their lives on the front line. The first death was reported on January 10th in Wuhan, China, after the virus emerged there in December before quickly spreading to Europe by February. The unprecedented death toll means scores of dead bodies are being stored in refrigerated trucks in New York, mass graves are being dug at a cemetery in London, and many around the world are being prevented from attending the funerals of those dearest to them. North America and European countries accounted for most of the new cases reported in recent days, but numbers were rising from smaller bases in Latin America, Africa, and Russia. Now, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Saeed Abbas Mousavi said that the Americans have shown they are violators of international law, and this is a dangerous approach and will disrupt the international order. During his press conference via video conference on Monday, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Saeed Abbas Mousavi said the United States has a dark history of non-compliance with international obligations, of which the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action or the Iran nuclear deal is only one. Mousavi further stated that this approach of the United States is a dangerous approach and will disrupt the international order. The Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman said the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action has had various achievements, and the Americans have tried to strike a blow by their withdrawal, preventing other achievements, including the end of the arms embargo. If the interests of the Iranian people are not served, naturally Iran will respond decisively, and nothing will be left of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action or the JCPOA. Elsewhere, the spokesman said, "We do not recognize the presence of Americans, especially its military, in the Persian Gulf region, and we see it as a threat to our security and stability of the region." And finally, protesters in Pakistan have condemned rising violence against journalists in the capital, Islamabad, which is one of the most dangerous cities for working journalists.
This is Islamabad, the federal capital of Pakistan. Until recently, the federal city was considered to be the safest in Pakistan. However, to the surprise of many, it has turned out to be the most dangerous city for working journalists. The Freedom Network, a Pakistani media watchdog, on the eve of the International Day of Press Freedom, released its annual report, which documented at least 91 cases involving abuses against working journalists. 7 journalists and bloggers were killed, 2 were abducted, 9 were arrested, and 10 were injured in attacks, with the numerous cases of threats and censorship on the mainstream print and broadcast media during the past year. The severity of abuses against media forced many journalists to protest on the roads despite the spread of coronavirus in Pakistan. At least 33 journalists were murdered alone during last 6 years. As many as 130 journalists have been killed since 9/11. The killers of none of Pakistani journalists were punished, indicating a virtual 100% immunity the assassins enjoy in their killing spree.
There are some unknown actors who are directly threatening the media, but basically the government has created an environment which is suppressing the media in Pakistan. This is the most dangerous trend. Like, the government is not supporting media at all, and they are trying to curb the media one way or the other.
Secret services, militant groups, and political parties have been at the heart of allegations of being behind the killing of journalists. Pakistan is considered to be one of the most dangerous countries in the world for journalists.
The government and the state authorities have proved to be quite a problem for freedom of expression. According to a recent report of Reporters Without Borders, Pakistan's ranking in freedom of expression index has dropped from 142 point to 145. So overall, the trends of freedom of expression and media freedom are dropping in this country, as they are dropping in the various other Western democracies.
Analysts point out that Pakistan has been a hotbed of international geostrategic politics, a significant part of which is being played by building up narratives through a politicized mainstream media. Tragically, the journalists have become a cannon fodder in an invisible war intelligence agencies have been playing directly or through their proxy groups in this part of the world. Javed Rana, Press TV, Islamabad.
Thank you for staying with us. Good night.